Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Beyond the Sewing Room. I'm Diane. So today I'm doing things a little bit differently. I want to share with you a few thoughts I've been having on just media consumption over the last few weeks. So I've not posted here for a couple of weeks now, or rather created a video. And the main reason being is because I've been so busy with quite a few work projects, and also because I didn't have anything that I was making in particular for myself. Now, last week I did have the thought that I should create a video because today, I would usually post at least once a week. And then I thought, no, slowing right down. I'm still going to go on creating videos, so I'm not stopping. But the thing being, I didn't want to be doing something just for the sake of doing it. Now, I've noticed quite a lot, especially in some of the vlogs, YouTubers, vloggers that I follow, and this is not criticism, it's just something that I've noticed, is that people seem to be doing things speeded up scale. There's lots of hauls, there's lots of making multiple projects in 1 week, week after week, and that is not what I intended when I started this channel, so I don't want to be going down that route at all. So while I may create quite a lot of handmade things, because all of my sort of wardrobe and things that I do are all handmade, because I don't tend to buy clothes, I do make them, and making clothes is my job also, so obviously that feeds it quite a lot because I am sewing all week, but most of it is work projects. I don't want to be making things just for the sake of making them. And also, something else that I've thought about is when I'm consuming content, I want it to be sort of done in a way that is more mindful and not just watching things on a roll, on a loop, just constantly viewing, consuming, and it getting faster and faster. And speed is very much an issue. So one thing that I don't really like, and that I have noticed, is more people are making, and again, this is not a criticism what others are doing, it's just sharing my preference really, is shorts and reels. Now, shorts and reels, I think it's just gone in an instant, and I want to be able to really watch what people are doing, listen to what they're saying, have a good look at what they're making, and if it's on Instagram or something like that, I've always used it as a source of inspiration so that I can look at it, have a good look, and then maybe make some notes or think, oh, I really like that, what pattern did they use, or what project, if it's knitting, is that something I might want to try and do in the future, because I don't really knit, but I have knitted in the past, but I do like watching other people's projects. I know that's a really slow, in-depth thing to do, knitting, so I really enjoy watching and looking at what people have made. I don't want it to just whiz past my eyes in a few seconds and me not get the chance to really properly take it in and digest it. And I know you can sort of click on it and freeze it and have a look, but I don't want to be messing about like that. I want to be able to have a look at a flat image sometimes and just look at the details and enjoy it. So that is something that's been sort of preying on my mind, is that I don't want to be creating things just for the sake of getting things out there as quickly as possible and sort of on a conveyor belt of making and producing videos, and it just like whizzing past. So it's gone, on to the next one, gone. That whizzes past and that's gone. So I'm going to continue showing how-tos, how to do things, and sharing what I'm working on and what I'm making, but I am going to be doing it in my time and not doing it as a production line. So as I said, that my job is sewing, so the last few weeks I have been making a number of things. I can't share all of them, as I've said before, because some of them are work projects. I will let you know what I've been up to, but sometimes I have to keep it and I can't share it until it's out there for work. Now, I have been doing something for a neighbour. I'm sure she won't mind me sharing this little project with you. So I'm making 2 dresses from one pattern, and I will share that with you now. So for those of you that are here rather for the sewing content rather than my little rant, so I've made this for my neighbour. So it's Burda 6773, and it's this shift dress right here. So it has a zip up the back, it has bust darts, and it has bust down the back, and it does also have sort of just a bodice lining to here, and in this particular one it's done in a cotton because she's going somewhere hot. So This is a linen blend and it's a mint colour, sort of mint green. It's very nice. It's got, you make your own binding for the sleeves on this one. You just line the bodice and it's concealed zip in the back and it's shaped, look, it's a shaped shift dress. So that's basically the bodice. I'll not hold the whole thing up. I'm sure she won't mind me sharing that. And then I'm also making it in a black and cream printed fabric. So when that one's finished, I will share some images of that. So that might be one that you're interested in if you're interested in a nice shift dress. It is a nice pattern. And I've had to obviously measure my neighbour and check the sizing and everything. I would say with any pattern, if you are making something from a standard dress pattern, always check yourself, because you'll always find, for most people I think, that you're different sizes for bust, waist, hips, because we're all different. So that's just something I've been working on. I just thought I'd throw that in there. Now, amongst other things, a few of the things that I've done for work this week have been this week and last week, a couple of bags. So they were both by Noodlehead, and I made the Redwood tote. So that's a larger sort of tote bag with handles. And then I also made the smaller one, a crossbody bag, a Harrelson. Now this one, as I said, these are all for work, so I'm not sharing the actual finished product, but this one I think I will make it again. I think I'll make this one for gifts in future, and maybe also one for myself, because that's quite a handy size for dog walking. So if you're looking for a couple of really nice bag patterns, those two are two that I would recommend. They've got really good instructions, but you do need to be aware that in places it's quite tough to sew through on a standard sewing machine. So you may prefer to pre-buy your handles or maybe some webbing. So that's just something to bear in mind for that. So getting back to my topic of slowing down a little, I'm trying to get back to reading more along the lines of blogs, because I have found that quite a few people that I used to follow who used to blog have stopped doing that now. I think more people are doing YouTube or things on Instagram or short reels, short films, things like that. But I do like to just slow down and read what people have been up to sometimes. And like I said, look at the flat images, especially with craft projects, of what they've been making, look at what they've used, and really sort of study the photographs. So that's something that I'm getting more back to this past few weeks, rather than consuming more YouTube or things like that. So I do like YouTube, but I like to be selective about what I'm watching. Now, I do like to find new topics, and what you do sometimes find is, because of the algorithm, you get the same things that come up. If you've looked for something, you'll just get more and more of that, when actually I want to be looking at new things sometimes, and new interests, and learning about new things. And if you only ever sort of follow the same kind of media, you don't expand, you don't get to learn new things, do you? So that's just something that really has been preying on my mind. I don't want to get just stuck in a rut where I'm only looking at the same kind of content, or only reading or watching media on the same subjects all the time. Now, bearing this in mind, I shared a few weeks ago some of my books that I've been reading over that past month. Now, we went to a charity shop and I picked up a pile of books. £1 they were, in the cat rescue. And one of them that I got was this one. Now again, it can be difficult not to just go for the same kind of thing that you always like, the same kind of authors, the same kind of covers. And this one in particular, I've not heard of this author, and it's Benjamin Myers. And I did like the cover, but it was a very different topic. So it's called The Offing. And I've just finished this book and I absolutely loved it. So I'm going to be looking for a couple more by this author. This author has also published in newspapers, magazines, and also published poetry. Now there is a bit of poetry in this book. So the character in this book, he goes on a little journey, a sort of journey of discovery himself after leaving school, and finds himself in Robin Hood's Bay. Now he meets a much older woman. Now don't get the wrong idea, it's not going down that road. When I say much older, I mean older to the point of older than his mum, I get the idea, sort of much older woman, and his intention is to travel across England, just gaining experiences and life on this little sort of journey after leaving school, because he's from a pit family and that is not something that he wants to follow his dad into, going down the pit. He wants to experience more, and he's sort of horrified by the thought that that's going to be his life, really. So that's why he goes off on this journey. And then he finds himself at a little cottage and confronted with Dulcie and her dog, who is called Butler, who's really friendly but at first seems quite menacing. And she invites him to stay. So he ends up setting up camp on her land and having a few meals and really in-depth conversations with her about life and books and the war that's just ended and so on. So it's really interesting, because what ends up happening is he tries to set off a few times. I'll not do too many spoilers, but the conversations that they have are just fascinating. So she talks to him about literature, about not being stuck in your sort of circumstances, being from a working class background, to expect more and that you can achieve more if you just sort of widen your horizons and so on. And it's just fabulous. I mean, the writing is excellent. As I said, there's also poetry in there and references to poetry, but the whole thing is just very poetic. The way that he describes the landscape and life is just beautiful. So I really recommend this if you're looking for something different, or maybe you've read him before. And I just really enjoyed every bit of this book. And it's just something, just reading words on a page, that you just don't always get from just viewing. And especially, as I was saying before, sort of speed viewing things just whizzing past without any thought. To be able to read something and then stop and think about it before you continue, it's just something I think we're in danger of losing, really, aren't we? So I loved that. And that was my reading for this week, and I hope that you will give this one a look out and a chance, because I don't think you'll regret it. Now, getting back to some sewing content. This is my next intended project. Now, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with this, because as I said before, I'm not rushing, and I also didn't want to say I'm thinking of making this or this and then going off and doing something completely different, which I sometimes feel like doing, but feel like I have to stick to my plans. So this is the French terry that I bought earlier in the year, when I also bought my denim for the jeans that I made at the start of autumn, so the dark denim jeans. So I saved this because I felt it was very much autumn winter fabric. So it's French terry and it's quite thick. And I've been looking at it this past couple of weeks and wondering, what should I do with it? Now, the one I'm wearing today, as you can see, it's not a million miles away in colour range. So this one is a teal, this one's more green, and this one is a jersey. This is Art Gallery, no, it's not Art Gallery Fabrics, but this is a Freya top. And I had thought, shall I make a Freya top? But then I think they're going to look too similar. So this one's long sleeves, but I've got them pulled up a little, as I often do. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to do either a V-neck or maybe some kind of different neckline. I think it's a bit thick to ruche it there. So the jury's still out on what I'm going to do with it. It is going to be a top, but as I said, probably not a high neck one like this one, because I think the two will be too similar in look. So I'm having another think about that before I get started on it. But that is one for me that I'm going to start this week. I'm going to take my time planning it and also take my time making it and enjoy it, because the ones that I do in my time for me, I'm trying to make sure that I really enjoy the process and sort of slow down, have my music on and just be there in the moment. So I don't know what your thoughts are on this today, but I hope you're all slowing down a little and just enjoying what you're doing, what you're watching. Thank you for watching today. Bye for now.